Oh, landmines and jellyfish. Welcome back to Knives, I guess, and fun bagpipes. Do with that word what you will. But do me a favor and hit that like button, or your child's math tutor will be arrested for stealing catalytic converters. And I figured it's time to do a budget bangers video. I haven't done one in a while, and I thought we'd take a look at the ones that I've picked up in the last year and just kind of show you what I got. Now, mind you, not all of them have been released in the last year. These are just the ones that I've picked up within the last year since last year's Blade Show. So, the first, and they are in the order that I acquired them in, basically. So, the first thing we're going to take a look at is the Rosecraft Blades Castoria. Now, we're only going to do this one time because there's 6 of them, so let's take a look at what we're holding, because it'll bother you if I don't. And you know I spoil you. So, first things first, and most importantly, the pocket clip is tip up, which is the Lord's carry. We have got split G10 on the handles. We got a flipper tab. Let's flick the bean. And we got a really weird button lock. So, now that that's out of the way, again, we're only doing that once. Just make the assumption that I said the same thing for the rest of them. So, this is one I picked up at the Rosecraft table last year, and I got to meet Andy Armstrong, and he was cool as hell. You know, I picked up the Castoria because I loved the way it looked, and I picked up a Pocket Monster, and then I told him, I was like, I'm looking for giveaway stuff, and he just gave me a second Castoria, and he gave me a second Pocket Monster to give away. Very cool of him. But the thing I like the most about this is the looks. It's got that stank to it, it's got a layer of funk on it, and it really, really gives me old school outdoors equipment vibes. Just the colors, the way it's set up. Like, my brain goes to outdoors gear from like the 1950s, and I'm not sure why, but I really, really like that vibe. Now, one thing that I do appreciate is it's done very, very differently. But, you know, we didn't go over the specs. So we've got 3.9 inches of D2, and we got the split G10, and this is $20 on their website. 20. Okay? And, you know, this was 20 bucks at Blade Show. Like, it is priced very, very well. But this is done really different. The button lock on this only lets you close it. It does not let you open it. The button lock won't open it. You got to get this right here. It's just, it will let it close. I like they did something different, and the different thing they did still works well. It's not like you're dealing with something where they did something weird just to be weird. It doesn't work that good. Now, you've got a high, tall, flat grind on some reasonably thin blade stock, so it slices like crazy. And, I mean, I carried this, and I was so sad to see it go. It did Cardboard Slayer. It did Cardboard Slayer more than competently enough. You know, the D2 took the good edge. The D2 with the good heat treatment takes. You know, I love seeing that. Like, I love this thing overall. You know, and when I did the giveaway on it, the Castoria was a really big hit. There was the Castoria and there was the Pocket Monster, and they were both huge hits. Everybody loved those things. Again, go to Rosecraft's website, $20. It's very, very, very hard to go wrong with this. And if you're like me and you like a longer blade, you know, that 3.9 inches of D2 is really nice to see. That is really nice to see. So the next one I picked up was at the Kaiser table, and we got the Kaiser Nice Guy. They showed me the Kaiser Amicus. They wouldn't sell it to me. It wasn't released yet, but so instead I picked up the Nice Guy. Now, let's flick the bean on this one. And, you know, pocket clips tip up. We've got 2.84 inches of Nitro V on this one, and you can get them G10 or aluminum like this one is. And they start off at $29 on sale, and like right now they're on sale. And they go up to $59. So, you know, the D2 is the cheapest version. You can get those fairly cheap. Nitro V is the next expensive, still below 50 bucks. And then the 154 CM goes up to $59. So you can get one of these reasonably cheap with good steel on it, and it will take care of you. You know, the action on this is really, really snappy. It's really snappy. It carried very, very well. I enjoyed how well it carried in the pocket. I enjoyed using this thing, and you got another slicey profile with a pretty tall, flat grind. You know, it sharpened up real nice. The Nitro V, it did good on the Cardboard Slayer run. You know, I really like this stuff, and I believe it's supposed to be tougher than D2. It still had the same edge retention as D2, which I like seeing. You know, I really like seeing. You know, at the Kaiser table, I was told this is pretty comparable to 154 CM. I need to test more 154 CM to get the veracity of that in order. But, you know, the Nitro V, I like that steel. You know, and while I was at the table, he's showing me stuff, and he mentions Nitro V. I'm like, that's a badass name for a steel. I like that. So, this is absolutely hands down one of my favorite finds, budget or not, in quite a while. And I really hate the fact that I don't get to carry it more. I carry something for a week and I'm on to the next one for review. So there are some that I really, really miss carrying. And these are definitely guys that I do miss carrying. But let's move on to the next one. And we have got the steel wheel cut jack. Let's flick the bean. We got a tip-up pocket clip. We got a fiberglass handle here. We have got a snap. We have got right at 3 inches of D2 steel, and somebody, like, this one I got used. It was a gift from Adam for America. Let's thank him for making this possible right here with the cut jack. I had never heard of this before he gave this to me, but, this was right after Blade Show or in the car ride to Blade Show. I can't remember. But, I carried this thing. It did really well, too. I was worried about the texturing on the handle, maybe not being as kind to my hand or as kind to my pocket. Not an issue there. It cut really well on Cardboard Slayer. You can see here where it done went through it. It's sharpened up. The D2 is solid, and, the pricing's great. $35 on sale right now and $42 at full price. I mean, there's not a lot to argue with here, especially if you want a solid work knife, and this is one that I would definitely have no compunction about carrying in a very, very dirty, nasty environment and really putting it through it. This thing did great on Cardboard Slayer. There's not too much to really, go into. This is just a good, solid, basic working knife that will take a good edge because D2 takes a great edge. I love this thing, and it's another one where it's hard to force myself to not reach for it while I'm doing my thing. The next one we're going to take a look at is the Rhino. We're going to take a look at the Gen Rhino, and this is, of course, Gen's one of my favorite knife companies. They do a lot of cool stuff, and the Rhino is a kit you buy, and right now they're $33 on Amazon for the black. I think the Jade might be $34, but, we have got our pocket clip being tip-up, which is the Lord's Carry. We have got Jade G10 on this one. We got a front flipper. We have got a button lock. We have got a thumb hole, and we've got a removable thumb stud. So, there's almost every possible opening mechanism on here. And it centrifugal opens. I love a centrifugal opener. I do. And this thing is an absolute fidget monster. You've got 2 inches of 9CR18. Man, I am not on top of my game today. I carried this. I loved it. I could not stop walking around fidgeting with it. I could not, and I am not joking. I could not stop fidgeting with this thing. I'm walking around the store. I'm doing this every time I'm not in the eye shot of customers. I really, really love this thing. And it's great because, you buy this and you buy a kit. You put it together yourself. So it demystifies the button lock. It lets you take a look at the innards of a button lock. And, it makes it a lot easier to process how they work. And it makes you a little bit more confident if you have to work on one of your own. Now, I will say, before Gen popped up on my radar, I had been looking for kit knives, just something I could put together myself, because I thought, hey, cool idea. Kept checking and kept checking and kept checking, and everything that was showing up was basically Bud K crap, Bud K grade crap. Try saying that 5 times fast. Bud K grade crap, Bud K grade crap, Bud K grade crap, Bud K grade crap, Bud K grade crap. I almost made it. But now I've said it too many times and every word has lost all meaning. What is a grade? But, I love carrying this thing, and, this is another one, kind of like the cut jack especially. I want to reach for it and carry it, and of course I'm carrying the knife I review for the week. So these are kind of off in the drawer until I find new uses for them. And the 9CR18 is very easy to sharpen. It takes a killer edge, That thing takes an absolutely killer edge. I absolutely love that. And 9CR18 is starting to become a personal favorite for budget steels. Especially because D2 has not been kind to me for the last month. Oh my God, it has treated me so poorly. So, I'm starting to really like 9CR18. As a matter of fact, the knife I'm currently designing, I'm probably going with 9CR18 just because easier to sharpen and maintain. And it's not D2 because I'm mad at D2 right now. I haven't seen some good D2 in a little bit here. So I know D2 is good steel. I've been having some bad luck. I've been having donkey after donkey after donkey. So, that's not a permanent situation, but at the moment I'm kind of mad at it. So the next one we're going to take a look at is the Albatross FK055. And let's flick the bean here. We've got the tip-up pocket clip. We've got the G10 with that really cool honeycomb pattern. You know, we have got 3 inches of D2 steel, and this thing is $40. You know, and this is what I like when Albatross does it. You know, Albatross is hit or miss. Some of their stuff's really bad, and then some of their stuff is fantastic like this. Like, I carried this for a week, and this is one of those right here. This is one of those where it does impress knife guys a bit, and it impresses non-knife guys at the same time. You know, these guys aren't really going to impress a non-knife guy. They're not going to understand the value. They're not going to understand your bang for the buck. You know, it looks like a basic knife, and it's a basic, solid, working knife that you can put through it for, you know, under $50. The Castoria, that one's real hit or miss. Some people love it. Some people hate it. The comments when I was doing the live stream on that were great. Somebody drew that with a crayon. Somebody's 4-year-old designed that. Like, it was so dumb. You know, most people absolutely love the design. I know I certainly do, but man, the negative comments were, whew. They're like guys who came in and they would stay on complaining. Even if I ignored them, they just kept complaining like, please give me attention. So that was just funny. But, you know, this is one where it will impress non-knife guys. Everybody at work loved looking at it, and I enjoyed showing it off. You know, and with the materials on this, the G10 and all that, and the price, wasn't scared about dropping it, digging it up. As a matter of fact, I was showing a coworker, and he's like, well, don't drop it or anything. And so I just chucked it on the floor. I'm like, I'll drop this thing. Don't worry. I will drop it. It can handle it. So, you know, and the D2 on this was really good. It handled Cardboard Slayer like a champ, you know, and it took the usual D2 very, very good edge. So, can't argue with that. Can't argue with that. Everything on this table I have sharpened up myself, and I love the edges it takes. I love the edge D2 takes. And 9CR18, I think it takes a slightly sharper edge, but it wears out a little faster. But D2 is so solid. The last one on the list is definitely the Takray Tarkus. Now, let's take a look at what we're holding. Tip-up pocket clip. We have got carbon fiber G10 with a carbon fiber inlay over the top, or a carbon fiber veneer. We have got our thumb hole. We got our axis lock, but we can centrifugal open it, so I'm going to centrifugal open it. These things are $25 on sale at the time of recording this, so I would jump on this. $36 full price. Still a good value. The blade stock on this is hella thin. It's hella thin. Out of everything on this table, this took the sharpest edge. This one took the sharpest edge. You know, we got the D2 steel. D2 will take a good edge, and with this thin profile, that was the sharpest edge we've gotten so far, and this one, like, I had to hold it up, but it did cut through the paper towel. Like, it got 70% of the way there for a free-hanging paper towel, but kind of holding it between two pinched areas. It actually made the cut. That's the first time I've ever done that. You know, I love the blade length on this, and of course, as thin as the blade stock is, this is not one that you're going to beat on and push through a bunch of hard cuts, but man, it slices. Lord almighty. Like, Jesus, root beer Christ, that's one of the quietest cuts on paper I have ever had. It takes one crazy edge, you know, and I loved carrying this thing. Like, I was absolutely blown away by it the whole time I had it, you know, going through Cardboard Slayer and everything else. Man, it was so good. It was so good. So, you know, this is kind of a look at my favorite knives that are under $50 that I found this year. You know, you guys know the heart of the channel is stuff $50 and below. Like, that's kind of our bread and butter here. Because I'm looking at stuff where, you know, it's not stuff where I have to save up for a month to buy it. This is stuff guys like you or me could buy. Either take one kind of noticeable hit on your paycheck or save up for like 2 weeks. You're good to go. You know, a lot of this stuff is well under $50. So you can acquire these quite easily. And, you know, that's kind of the goal here. These are ones that I know and have proven to be solid workhorses, solid knives that do what they do very well. And I wanted to show them to you. I haven't done a budget banger video in a while, so I thought it was about time. But can't think of a whole lot else to say about these guys, except I love everything on this table. So all that being said, thanks for looking at my crap. Subscribers, you guys are awesome. Y'all keep coming in. I appreciate you so much. If you haven't subscribed, please do. We got live streams, regular videos. There's plenty of activities. Comments. I love some feedback. Let me know which one of these is your favorite right here. And, of course, we are going to plug our friends' products. Support your friends. I'm not making any money off them. They're not affiliate links. I just like supporting my friends and small businesses. Here you go. And, as always, we are going to link up to Cutting Lacey CDC's Diamond Emulsion if you want to step your stropping game up, make it easier to sharpen your blades, and keep them sharp. Wonderful product. I use it myself on every single knife I sharpen now. And we are going to link off to Mad Yocco's wax. If you want to protect your blades that are prone to corrosion, if you want to darken up the color of your micarta, or take care of a million other things, he is going to be on Blade Binge with his wax. Alright, just supporting some friends of the channel and some small businesses. And all that being said, y'all have a nice day.